The morning begins quietly. The sunlight moves across the floor in slow, lazy patterns. The house is still almost expectant, as though it knows something is about to change. Though no one inside suspects it yet, there is a chair, a table, a small lamp humming faintly in the corner. The air shifts subtly as it always does, but today it carries a weight, one that the ordinary mind cannot yet name. A child is home, alone for only a few minutes. The moments stretch thin. Ordinary noises, the tick of a clock, the rustle of curtains, the faint creak of floorboards fill the air. Everything seems normal, safe, predictable. And yet, ordinary is deceptive. A knock at the door. Not sharp, not demanding, but deliberate. Enough to pull attention, yet faint enough to not alarm. The door opens. An older man stands there. Calm, quiet, ordinary. His presence blends seamlessly into the environment. He does not rush. He does not shout. He does not demand. He merely asks a question. A polite, unassuming request. The kind of question that feels safe to answer. And the child, trusting the ordinary, responds. That single decision is small, almost meaningless in the moment, but it begins a series of events that will stretch far beyond the walls of this house, beyond minutes, beyond days. Nothing seems dramatic. No doors slammed, no shouts, no struggle. Just a moment, calm, ordinary, imperceptible. Yet this is the start. The ordinary conceals the extraordinary. Investigators, when they first arrive on the scene, see only what has been left behind. Absence. The empty living room, the quiet kitchen, the untouched breakfast. On paper, the day is reduced to forms, statements, and timelines. Photographs are taken, measurements logged. Nothing hints at the magnitude of what has occurred. They do not know the man's name. They do not know the scale. They know only absence, and absence is strange. It fills the space with tension without leaving a mark. Neighbors are questioned. Family interviewed. Those who were nearby asked if they noticed anything unusual. Most do not remember. Some think their memory does not matter. A few offer small details, a shadow, a step, a door slightly ajar. Each note is logged, then relogged. Every tiny observation matters. Days pass. Patterns emerge. Slowly. Like water carving stone, the outlines of the predator's presence begin to take shape. Then the letters arrive. Ordinary at first glance. Plain paper neatly folded, handwriting controlled and calm, no mistakes, no urgency, no emotion. And that is what unnerves investigators the most. A calm, deliberate, methodical hand has reached out across time and distance, leaving traces only those trained to read patterns will recognize. Investigators study the letters. Slowly, every word, every punctuation mark. Each phrase weighed, reread, compared with previous correspondence. Familiarities begin to appear, echoes of past unsolved disappearances. Still no name? Not yet. They return to older files. Disappearances once thought unconnected. Letters tucked away for years. Small similarities emerge, a form of approach, a tone, an ordinary calm. Coincidence becomes pattern. Pattern becomes methodical signature. The investigation becomes a rhythm. Slow, careful, deliberate, step by step, minute by minute. Haste is avoided. Even what seems trivial, chair slightly moved, curtain shifted, floorboard creak, is logged and considered. Nothing overlooked, nothing assumed. The ordinary hides what is extraordinary. Time stretches. The first week passes. Nights are restless for investigators, not from fear, but from the tension of unfinished patterns. Every detail weighs. Every memory of the child surfaces in their minds. Each tick of the clock reminds them, we always start too late. The predator remains unseen. His ordinariness shields him. Step by step, investigators reconstruct timelines, cross-reference addresses, compare handwriting, examine letters. Slowly, a form emerges. Not yet a name, not yet a face, but a pattern, a rhythm, a method. The first hint of identity waits in the details. The quiet, controlled, ordinary presence begins to sharpen into a recognizable shape. Patterns begin to form. Investigators retrace every step. The child's last known movements are reconstructed with painstaking detail. The living room, the hallway, the small kitchen, the open window, the faint rustle of curtains. Every floorboard is imagined. Every corner of the house measured in their minds. They work methodically. Each timeline checked, double-checked, cross-referenced with other cases, addresses, occupations, routes, acquaintances. The child's ordinary day is now mapped like coordinates on a battlefield, each movement logged, each gap examined. Letters are studied again, slowly, deliberately. Handwriting compared to older, forgotten letters. Subtle consistencies emerge. Small loops in letters, slight tilts, repeated punctuation patterns. The predator's calm method becomes visible across time and space. Every word analyzed, every phrase reconsidered. Patterns reinforce the investigator's growing understanding. But still no name, only presence, only method, only pattern. The child's memory surfaces. Calm knock, ordinary voice, polite question. The child answers. Ordinary choice, trusting instinct. Nothing alarming in the moment. Yet that choice begins a chain, imperceptible in the present, massive in retrospect. Every ordinary action becomes a clue, a piece of the puzzle. Investigators move like this predator, slowly, deliberately, step by step, minute by minute. Nothing assumed, every detail cross-checked, inconsistencies noted, witness statements revisited, minor details that were overlooked before now assume significance. A shadow, a noise, a door slightly ajar. The pattern is methodical, ordinary, calm, terrifying in its invisibility. Older disappearances are revisited, letters reviewed, connections slowly confirmed. Patterns that once seemed coincidental now illuminate the predator's form. Handwriting, phrasing, timing, ordinary patience amplified across years. The investigator's mental models grow sharper. The predator moves predictably, quietly, deliberately, and every minute of investigation aligns with a methodical understanding. This is not random. This is design. Maps are drawn, timelines extended, neighborhoods examined. The child's likely paths compared against ordinary city movements, every alley, street, post office, and delivery route considered. Nothing is skipped, nothing left unchecked. At night, investigators replay the day in their minds. Footsteps, voices, pauses, shadows. Ordinary sounds become signals. Ordinary moments become clues. The cat and mouse unfolds in silence. Patterns converge. Slowly, step by step, the predator's presence begins to take shape. Still no face, still no name, just movements, patterns, consistency, method. The investigators begin predicting actions. Not exactly, but well enough to narrow the focus. Connections multiply. The timeline stretches backward. Previous disappearances revisited. Every letter, every step, every action carefully reconstructed. The predator remains unseen, invisible in his ordinariness. Step by step, minute by minute, investigators reduce uncertainty. Evidence accumulates. Patterns become confirmations. Confirmations solidify into certainty. The first hint of a name emerges. Not official, not spoken aloud, only visible in the alignment of evidence, handwriting, and timing. Enough to sharpen the focus, enough to begin hunting deliberately. The investigation becomes immersive, almost meditative. Each investigator retraces steps slowly, every movement logged, every observation repeated, every inconsistency noted, nothing ignored. The letters, the disappearances, the small patterns, they all align. And still the predator is not yet known. The child remains absent. The case is procedural, methodical, deliberate. The cat and mouse continues. The day folds into night. The air remains calm, ordinary. Light stretches across the floor. Nothing seems out of place. And yet, investigators know. The ordinary conceals the extraordinary. Step by step, and minute by minute, the pattern solidifies. The breakthrough comes quietly, imperceptibly, like a shadow folding itself into the edges of memory. Investigators examine postmarks, handwriting loops, subtle phrasing in the letters. One seemingly insignificant detail, a curl on a capital G, a small dot, matches another letter from years ago. Slowly, deliberately, the pattern snaps into focus. The child's absence is no longer just a case file. It is a sequence of moments reconstructed step by step. The knock on the door, the calm voice, the ordinary request. Every ordinary choice made by the child now carries weight, ripples that investigators trace back through time. Patterns in the letters, disappearances, and behavior across multiple locations begin to converge. Each small similarity, an ordinary visit, a polite question, a calm tone, becomes undeniable. The methodical predator is revealed not in violence but in repetition and control, perfectly ordinary in appearance, terrifying in intention. Investigators slow their pace, step by step, minute by minute. They revisit old case files. Letters that once seemed unconnected now align with precision. The handwriting, the timing, the locations all point to one consistent pattern, one presence. The first hint of identity forms in the documents. Still no face, still no name spoken aloud. But there is enough to focus the hunt. The cat and mouse becomes deliberate, every action now traced, every pattern carefully analyzed. The child's perspective returns. The knock, the calm voice, the ordinary question. That moment is recalled and expanded in memory. The slight hesitation, the trust, the instinctual compliance. What seemed normal then now resonates with unintended consequences. Investigators continue their methodical work. Neighborhoods mapped, foot traffic noted, delivery routes compared, previous disappearances cross-referenced. Nothing is too small, too trivial, or too old to be examined. Step by step, the predator's ordinary pattern becomes fully visible. Behavioral analysis emerges. The predator's calm demeanor, patience, and ordinary appearance are not accidental, they are deliberate. Every action, every approach, every letter is consistent, ordinary, methodical, predictable to trained eyes. Patterns converge across years. What was once coincidence now reveals a calculated method. The ordinary nature of interactions, polite, quiet, subtle, allowed the predator to move unseen. Investigators now see the design in the details, the rhythm in the absence, the meticulous orchestration of events. The first major breakthrough, the evidence points clearly to a single individual, Not yet a name spoken aloud in court or report, but undeniable to those studying the letters, the handwriting, and the behavioral signatures. Step by step, the cat and mouse reaches a pivotal point. The predator's presence is known, his actions reconstructed. The pattern once hidden in ordinariness now dominates the timeline. The letters are revisited, analyzed with renewed precision. The child's last movements mapped, every shadow, every creak, every pause considered. The identity is almost within reach. Investigators work tirelessly, knowing the ordinary has masked the extraordinary. Step by step, minute by minute, the puzzle comes together. The predator remains calm, methodical, and unseen. The ordinary persists. The letters continue to speak silently for those willing to listen carefully. And in the quiet moments, investigators recall the child's perspective, the knock, the ordinary voice, the decision to answer, the calmness, the ordinariness, the subtle manipulations now understood in full. The cat and mouse continues slowly, methodically, imperceptibly. Here, the first undeniable connection appears. A postmark, a handwriting pattern, a phrase repeated across letters spanning months, years. Small, ordinary, almost invisible. But to investigators trained in patience and detail, the connection is clear. Slowly, the focus sharpens. The child's memory remains vivid in their minds. The polite knock, the calm request, the ordinary tone that disguised extraordinary danger. Step by step, they reconstruct every moment, every gesture, every hesitation. Nothing is left unexamined. Patterns align across previous cases. Letters once filed away, forgotten, are now revisited. Connections that seemed coincidental become undeniable. Phrasing, timing, delivery, methodical patience. The predator's ordinary behavior becomes a signature. The investigators move with methodical precision. They revisit old neighborhoods. They check old routes. They map every potential approach, every ordinary street, every corner where the predator could have passed unnoticed. Time stretches. Hours blend into days. Their minds simulate movements of child, predator, investigator, step by step, minute by minute. Behavioral patterns emerge. Calm, ordinary, methodical, deliberate, not random, not impulsive. Each action of the predator was calculated, designed to appear mundane, to blend seamlessly into the ordinary rhythm of life. Investigators begin to see a single figure in the haze of years and letters. Not yet a name spoken aloud, not yet a face known to the public, but a presence emerges in the documents, in the rhythm of disappearances, in the careful handwriting, in the calm tone of the letters. The breakthrough is quiet. No dramatic scene, no sudden announcement. Just a slow, deliberate alignment of details, pointing to one individual. Step by step, the puzzle clicks into place. The child's perspective revisits the ordinary, the calm voice, the polite question, the small, seemingly inconsequential choices that allowed a predator to operate unseen. Investigators reconstruct these moments layer upon layer. Every creak, every shadow, every slight hesitation becomes part of the picture. All patterns converge. The predator's calm ordinariness, once invisible, becomes unmistakable. Letters, handwriting, timing, and methodical approach. They all speak a single name, still unsaid publicly, still hidden in procedural reconstruction. Investigators continue to retrace steps, reconstruct timelines, analyze every ordinary interaction for hidden significance. The cat and mouse game, once invisible, now comes into sharp relief. Slowly, deliberately, the identity crystallizes. Albert Fish, not with fanfare, not with sudden drama, but through patient reconstruction, step by step, pattern by pattern. The ordinary now reveals the extraordinary. Letters are reread. The child's last movements traced, every shadow noted, every subtle, ordinary detail analyzed for meaning. The predator is identified not by spectacle, but by calm, methodical patterns that could not be denied. And still the story unfolds slowly, deliberately. Investigators trace behavioral signatures, map prior disappearances, review letters. Each ordinary detail takes on weight, becomes a clue, becomes part of the inevitable revelation. The cat and mouse continues, methodical, unhurried, precise. With the predator's presence identified, investigators begin connecting the threads of years past. Every letter revisited, every disappearance reviewed, each minor similarity now magnified in significance. Step by step, the map of activity unfolds. Streets, neighborhoods, postmarks, delivery routes, and the seemingly ordinary paths of children across the city are logged, traced, and reimagined. Nothing is too small to consider, nothing too ordinary to examine. The first victim's perspective returns softly, almost dreamlike. The knock on the door, the calm voice, the polite request. The ordinary day that hid extraordinary consequences. Every small gesture is now a key. Each remembered detail, a step toward understanding. Investigators check handwriting again, this time with years of accumulated insight. Loops, curves, punctuation, spacing. Patterns confirmed. Letters are no longer random communications. They are fingerprints of methodical intention. The ordinary handwriting hides a calculated mind. Each prior disappearance is reviewed against new insight. Timing, phrasing, and location reveal a meticulous pattern. What seemed coincidental now forms a slow, deliberate rhythm. Step by step, investigators reconstruct not only what happened, but how it happened, following the predator's ordinary methods and patient approach. Behavioral analysis deepens. The predator's calm, deliberate patience is unmistakable. He moves slowly, unhurried, blending into the ordinary world. Every approach, every interaction is controlled. Everything is measured. And yet that ordinariness is what allows access, what allows trust, what allowed the terrible acts to unfold without detection. Investigators simulate events repeatedly. Every action of the child, every possible choice, every ordinary response considered. The predator's presence is traced through these small interactions. Moments that seemed inconsequential now reveal intent. Step by step, the investigator's understanding grows. Nothing is skipped, nothing left unchecked. The letters, the patterns, the timing, all combine into a singular clarity. Connections solidify. Disappearances once isolated now align along a timeline. The predator's calm, ordinary approach appears repeatedly, consistently across years. Letters, handwriting, and patterns merge into undeniable evidence. The first victim's POV lingers. The knock, the ordinary voice, the calm, patient approach. Every minor decision the child made, the opening of the door, the trusting response, becomes part of the reconstructed narrative. Investigators remain methodical. Today, each discovery triggers further review. Every detail is placed against previous cases. Every letter becomes a new lens through which to examine the past. Step by step, the web tightens. The pattern is now unmistakable. The ordinary facade has been revealed. The letters, the disappearances, the patient, calm approach, all point to a single individual. Slowly, deliberately, investigators move closer. The cat and mouse unfolds with precision. No dramatic confrontation yet, only reconstruction, observation, methodical understanding. And in the quiet of the office, the investigators reflect. Light filters through the blinds. Streets outside move as usual, children play. Ordinary life continues. And yet beneath it, the predator's calculated ordinariness is fully visible. Step by step, letter by letter, movement by movement, the puzzle resolves. The pattern is clear. Albert Fish is no longer abstract. He has shape, presence, and method. At last, the pieces converge. Investigators sit with stacks of letters, maps, timelines, and case files. Step by step, detail by detail, the pattern is undeniable. One name begins to emerge from the shadows of ordinariness. One methodical, quiet, ordinary man whose calm exterior masks extraordinary horror. Letters are reread, this time for subtle signals. Spacing, punctuation, phrasing, even the tone behind each word. Each letter speaks silently to the trained eye, revealing the predator's hand. Methodical, ordinary, consistent. The child's memory persists, vivid, unhurried. The polite knock, the calm voice, the ordinary request. The trust placed in a stranger. Every minor action, small, mundane, now forms a critical link in the investigation. Investigators cross-reference old disappearances. Previous letters, once thought unrelated, now form a sequence. Timing, location, phrasing, and behavior align. Patterns emerge. Slowly, inexorably, the figure of Albert Fish becomes visible. Ordinary in appearance, terrifying in method. Behavioral analysis dominates the room. Calm, deliberate, patient, methodical. Every interaction, every step of the predator is scrutinized. Investigators imagine how he approached, how he gained trust, how the ordinary allowed him access. Every detail, minute, mundane, and seemingly irrelevant, is now a signal of intent. The timeline is reconstructed, step by step, day by day, disappearance by disappearance. Every shadowed alley, every unnoticed street, every ordinary route now maps to his method. Investigators trace his movements quietly, patiently, meticulously. The cat and mouse reaches its slow, inevitable conclusion. Letters, handwriting, behavior, and memory converge on one man. The ordinary facade is gone. Albert Fish is no longer an abstract presence. He is tangible in the investigators' minds, methodical, patient, calculated, and utterly ordinary in outward appearance. The room is silent. Investigators review everything one last time. The child's POV, the letters, the timeline, every minute observation. The horror is in the method, the calm, the ordinariness of it all. Yet they remain deliberate, step by step, slow, careful, procedural. Even as the predator is identified, the narrative unfolds slowly, deliberately. The letters are reread, the timeline reconstructed, the ordinary actions observed and analyzed. No sudden shocks, no dramatic confrontation, only methodical understanding. The story concludes quietly. Sunlight moves across the floor. Shadows stretch slowly. The ordinary returns. But the pattern has been revealed. The predator's method, once hidden, now informs every movement of investigation. The cat and mouse is complete. Slowly, methodically, the ordinary conceals nothing anymore.